Hi everyone, 1 Minute with Eric. So what is business interruption insurance? So just a reminder, I work with a lot of business owners, and business owners have very specific needs. And this COVID situation, just in case this is the future and you guys are watching this video, I am sitting in October 2020. We're 6 or 7 months into COVID life. And right in those first couple months, March, April, May, a lot of my clients were asking me about business interruption insurance. Well, listen, I don't sell insurance, but let's just get serious for two things. Number one, you have to have insurance before there's a problem, right? If there's a hurricane on the horizon, they will not sell you hurricane insurance. You gotta buy it and pay into your premiums before, okay? So if you want to be protected for loss of business income, for example, you gotta go out and negotiate that before the problem, before the drop in revenue, okay? Before you lose all your clients. So you need that in place. Now, to think it through, what you're gonna end up having is a contract. You know, we're surrounded by contracts. You buy a house, not only do you have a purchase contract, but then you have a mortgage, right? Because you're borrowing the money from the bank for the financing, right? You lease a car, you sign so many contracts. Not to mention every time, like today, I got 2 apps on actually on my phone, and it made me click here to agree to the terms and conditions. I promise you, if I bothered to read it, somewhere in there, it's gonna have dispute resolution language. It's gonna say that if I wanna sue Facebook, I gotta go out to California, and it's probably gonna be an arbitration, and they're gonna get to pick the arbitrator, and they're gonna get attorney's fees, but I'm not. I mean, these are all contract terms, and I agreed to it by clicking I accept. Right? And sometimes, you know, with a mortgage where they're lending you $100, $300, $1 million, they make you sign 100 pages. It's so that on the day that things go sideways, they've got you dead to rights. I mean, listen, they know what they're doing. They've been planning this for a long time. Well, it's a little bit the same way with insurance, right? So I always use this example. No one ever reads their homeowner's insurance policy until the day after the flood, till the day after the tree falls on your house, till the day after the hurricane. And, you know, it's really unfortunate, but it is totally human nature. Right? It's human nature. You get the insurance, you get the minimum, whatever's required, you sign, you don't bother reading it, and you know, you're initialing pages that you totally didn't read, and then the tree falls on your house, and you're like, uh-oh, am I covered? Okay? Well, that's the same for business, right? So business interruption insurance, something goes sideways, you then pull out the contract, maybe you call an attorney to help you understand it, you certainly probably call your insurance broker, hopefully the insurance broker is on your side. You know, I remember after Irma, one of my clients was a restaurant, and I had actually recommended an insurance agent to this client, and Irma messed up their restaurant. The insurance agent said, I'm dealing with personal stuff. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't help you. It's like, wow, well, you just lost a client and a referral source. So never send any work to that person again. Anyways, and so you get back to the contract, and now you start looking through it, and you're like, okay, so what am I covered for and what am I not? So business interruption insurance is very rare. Let me say that again. It's very rare. Of all the clients, I think I have 2,000 clients, I think maybe 5 of them actually had and paid for business interruption insurance, because guess what? It's not cheap, right? No insurance is cheap. What you're doing is you're prepaying into the possibility that something bad might happen. And they need to collect a sufficient number of premiums from a sufficient number of people paying into that pot. And hopefully on the day that things go bad, everyone isn't filing a claim. It's like when they have runs on the bank and everyone goes and tries to withdraw their money at the same time. Well, here's a little secret for you. Banks usually only have 5% of all the money that they have on deposit. So if everyone went to the bank and tried to take out their money at the same time, the bank would fold. Because what the bank does is it lends it back out on the street, right? The bank is writing mortgages and accepting deposits. It's the business of the bank. And so the federal government will say how much they have to have on reserve, but I promise you it's not 100%. And so same with insurance, right? Now, whenever there's a really big crisis, of course, we usually get the government to bail out the banks and the insurance companies, but the point remains. So if you were really frustrated by COVID time and your business suffered a serious loss and you did pull out your insurance policies and you found out that you were not covered for this kind of stuff, be careful and also be mindful. You know, do you want to prepare for the next pandemic, for the next situation? And by the way, I just bought a new umbrella policy for me personally because I found out that I was underinsured. The reality is I'm driving around in this town. Half the people here are probably uninsured or underinsured, and if things go bad, I had a client who got into a bad car accident, tore both biceps. The driver who hit him, totally their fault, had a $10,000 bodily injury policy. Like, that should be illegal, but whatever, that's neither here nor there. Good thing for my client is he had his own insurance. So listen guys, insurance is important. If you're a business owner, I always say that you need to have 5 people in your life a banker, an accountant, an insurance agent, a financial advisor, and hopefully you've got someone really good like me, a business lawyer. Thank you. Bye.